excited about this. How do you introduce a legend? Well, I could list all of Shirley MacLaine's accomplishments on stage, screen, and in the literary world, but then we wouldn't have time for an interview. So let's just welcome Shirley MacLaine to Nashville. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you, Meryl.
And you've never been here before.
And as far as I can remember, no. I think I haven't, even though I know Dolly and I love her, and Reba and Nicole, but I haven't been here. Well, maybe in another life, and that's why
perhaps.
I'm so fond of them.
Well, I'm so glad to have you here on Talk of the Town and in Nashville, and you're here for a special event tonight called An Intimate Evening with Shirley MacLaine.
Oh, are they calling it intimate?
Apparently.
Oh, okay.
What are we planning?
Not like that.
Oh, okay.
It's, you know, I do a compendium of my life, which is, I had to cut it down to an hour, and then I take calls from people. You can ask me, I mean, what did they stand in the aisle and talk in a microphone and ask me a question, anything they want, and it's kind of interesting. They ask me about the Rat Pack and about Hollywood and about travels, but mostly about my books.
Because there's so many.
Yeah, and they're very interested in studying what is the other meaning of life, you know?
Yeah, which you've done a lot of study on as well.
Better, happy, and is this all there is?
Yeah. Ann Patchett is going to be
she's
moderating.
Terrific.
Isn't she interesting?
Yeah, she really is. What a life she has, and so creative in all her books, and I love that she opened her own bookstore.
We're real proud of her here in Nashville.
Absolutely.
Hometown girl. So that's going to be fun tonight, and I'm sure that folks are going to be asking you a lot of questions about your famous movie roles.
Yeah, that's okay.
Of which there are so many. Steel Magnolias, of course, is one of my favorites. Talk about what it was like behind the scenes with those 6 amazing women.
Let me tell you one thing that I was just absolutely flabbergasted at. It was about 105, very, very difficult for all of us. And there's Dolly out there with her wigs and her, what do you call them, things that bring in your waist?
The
cinchers.
Yes,
the
right.
cinchers. Heels that high. I mean, I'm sure that her ears popped when she took them off at night. Okay, and we're all there, sweating, looking terrible. Makeup and hair is in there replacing everything that we started off with in the morning. Not Dolly. She is completely the same as she was at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
I really looked at that and thought, now what does this mean, actually? She has this demeanor that's so balanced and so unobstructed.
Yeah, and she's always been that way, hasn't she?
I think so. I don't know. I've only known her on that, but she was terrific.
Yeah.
I love all your people here. I love Reba and Nicole, but I don't think I've ever been here to talk with them. I'm trying to remember.
You're going to have to come back. I know you're leaving quickly to go do a movie.
Yeah. It's a movie. We don't want to go into what it's about, but I love working. I'm not going to retire for a while.
You know, they always talk about there are so few roles for mature women in Hollywood, and yet you seem to be working so much. Are you just getting all the good roles?
Well, I'm one of the few still left walking upright, yeah. That's why, you know, I'm healthy.
Well, you are, and so talented, too. You've gotten a chance to work with Maggie Smith again on Downton Abbey, and I know you two are great friends.
Yeah, we really are.
Yeah.
We've known each other 40 years.
Yeah, what did you think when that script came to you on Downton Abbey?
I had not seen the show. And I was told about it, and of course anything with Maggie in it I would really be interested in. And in reading the material, you can't really ascertain how good it is until you get on that set with the little things that make up the period filmmaking, and the wardrobe and the makeup and the hair, and how they take such care with how they do it. It was really extraordinary. I learned a lot about being patient so that I would look like I'm supposed to, because I spend about 5 minutes in the makeup chair, usually, if that.
Right. That's such a fun role.
It
Will
is.
we see you again in the next season?
No, because there were so many characters to wind up that I don't know, maybe she'll stay in Long Island, my character,
right.
and maybe they'll come there some other time, but no, not a wind up of this season.
We've got to talk about Terms of Endearment, the role for which you won an Oscar. What did that character mean to you?
Well, I might as well put her on my tombstone. I think I'm a lot like her.
Really?
I just say what I feel and really deeply care, but at the same time, I'm wise in a way that doesn't seem true. like Aurora was.
Yeah.
And she was so funny wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really loved her. This is my favorite character.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Out of all the ones that you've played?
Yeah, yeah. You know, when we did Evening Star, the sequel after, it didn't catch because the studio said, well, we have to have a lot of young people in this to make it work. And they actually should have stayed with the trials and tribulations of the woman who now has grandchildren and is leaving a sense of being young.
Yeah.
And how does she deal with all of that?
Yeah, that's the richer story.
It is, and I think audiences now are beginning to see it, and it is, in my opinion, an underserved demographic.
Yeah.
Older women, older men, older people. But then, since I'm one of them, I want to be noticed. So there we are.
I don't think there's ever a chance that you're not going to be noticed.
Do you think I need that? I wonder about that.
Well, I mean, the career goals that you've pursued certainly would indicate that.
Maybe so. Well, I guess everyone likes to be heard. And so therefore, yes, I might as well just say it. I like people to listen to what I say. Yeah.
Well, you have a lot of opinions, and they're interesting to
And they're
consider.
futuristic.
Yes, they are.
Futuristic opinions and opinions that sometimes have to do with otherness.
Yeah.
That's what they ask me at
I
at
bet.
my shows.
Yeah.
They get in the aisle and they take the microphone and they want to know what happens after they die. Like I know. But still, maybe I think I have died many times, so I'm trying to remember that too. And I explain that to them. They're very interested in it.
I bet. What's still on your bucket list?
You know what? I would love to live on an animal preserve.
Really?
I was so upset when that dentist killed Cecil the lion. It truly hit me in the heart. I was so mad at him and sad and because I have this thing about animals and I would love to live among them. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I went once to an animal preserve in Rhodesia, and then another one in South Africa, and it was a magic heaven for me to watch them. You know, you go out in the trucks that they think are other kinds of animals, and they're not upset by them at all, and you sit and watch them. I watched, well, never mind how many animals, but different tribes of them for about 12 hours. Didn't even want to go back to the little hotel.
That's fascinating.
I just loved intermingling my own imagination with what they do and live like.
You know, you've lived such a rich life.
Yeah.
How would you most like to be remembered?
Oh my God, Meryl. As someone who thought in magical terms. You know, I think imagination, I agree with Einstein that it's nothing more important than imagination, because out of imagination comes really great, wise, deep knowledge.
Yeah.
And I think all the stuff I've written and talk about and experience and so forth, if people would direct themselves not only to what's really inside and they give themselves the freedom to imagine, but to see that could happen on the outside.
Yes.
Yeah. Let their imagination go.
Well, you've made us think. You've made us laugh. Thank you so much for
you.
your
My pleasure.
many, many years of great entertainment.
Come tonight.
We appreciate it. Would love to.
And I'll see you
Love
backstage.
to. Okay, great. Well, don't miss an intimate evening with Shirley MacLaine tonight at 7:30 at the Schermerhorn Symphony Center. Tickets and all the details are online at nashvillesymphony.org.